My name is Keisha Brown, and I'm about to tell you a story that's going to make you sick. I mean it. Literally sick to your stomach. Because when I found out my husband was cheating on me, it wasn't with some random woman at a bar, or some coworker at his job, or even some woman from his past. No, it was with my 7-year-old daughter's elementary school teacher, Miss Jessica, the woman I trusted with my child, the woman I invited to our home for parent-teacher conferences, the woman I sent thank you notes to, the woman I bought Christmas gifts for, the woman my daughter adored. That woman was sleeping with my husband for 2 years, and my baby, my sweet, innocent baby girl Maya, had a front row seat to the whole thing and didn't even know it. Chilly. Let me tell you how I found out, because you ain't gonna believe this. It was a Tuesday evening, October 15th. I remember the date because it was Maya's 7th birthday. We'd had a party that weekend. But on her actual birthday, a Tuesday, we were keeping it simple. Just family dinner at home. Me, Terrence, that's my husband, and Maya. I'd made her favorite: spaghetti and meatballs, garlic bread, Caesar salad, and a little ice cream cake from Baskin-Robbins. Nothing fancy. But Maya was happy. We were sitting at the kitchen table, singing Happy Birthday. Maya blowing out her candles, making her wish with her eyes squeezed shut. That's when Terrence's phone buzzed. On the table. Face up. Now, usually, Terrence kept his phone face down, or in his pocket, or on silent. But that night, I guess he was feeling comfortable, feeling safe. The text popped up on his lock screen, and I saw it, clear as day. Happy birthday to your beautiful girl. Wish I could have been there to celebrate with you both. Miss you. Jay. I froze, fork halfway to my mouth, staring at that screen. You both. Not you and your family. Not your daughter. You both. Like this person was included in us. And who the hell was Jay? Terrence grabbed his phone quick. Too quick. Shoved it in his pocket. Who was that? I asked, trying to keep my voice light. Normal, even though my heart was already racing. Oh, just somebody from work, he said. Not even looking at me. Cutting into his spaghetti. Wishing Maya happy birthday. Somebody from work knows it's Maya's birthday? Yeah, I guess I mentioned it. Still not looking at me. You know how people are at the office. Always trying to be friendly. Something in my gut, something deep in my gut, told me that was a lie. But it was Maya's birthday, and she was sitting right there, smiling, chocolate ice cream all over her face. So I let it go, for the moment. But girl, that text stayed in my mind, all night. Wish I could have been there to celebrate with you both. Who talks like that? About somebody else's kid? Unless, no. I pushed the thought away. I was being paranoid. Terrence wouldn't do that. Not my Terrence. We'd been together since college. Married for 9 years. Together for 12. He was a good man, a good father, a good husband, right? That night, after Maya went to bed, I tried to bring it up casual. So, who's Jay from your office? Terrence was already under the covers, looking at his phone. Always looking at his phone lately. Huh? He said, not even looking up. The person who texted about Maya's birthday. You said they were from work. Oh, yeah. Still not looking at me. Just this dude James. He's got kids too. Always asking about Maya. James. Okay, that made sense, sort of, but something still felt off. The way Terrence grabbed that phone, the way he wouldn't look at me, the way he said somebody from work before I even asked. I'm a black woman. We got intuition, and mine was screaming. 2 weeks went by. I tried to let it go, tried to trust my husband, but I couldn't shake it. Then came parent-teacher conferences. Every year in late October, we'd meet with Maya's teacher, talk about how she was doing, her grades, her behavior, her progress. This year, Maya's teacher was Miss Jessica. Miss Jessica had started at the school that August. fresh out of her teaching program. Young, pretty, white girl with blonde hair and blue eyes, maybe 28, 29. Maya loved her. Came home every day talking about Miss Jessica said this, and Miss Jessica did that. I thought it was sweet. A good teacher can change a kid's life. And Miss Jessica seemed dedicated, always sending home notes about Maya's progress, always available for questions. The conference was scheduled for 6 p.m. Terrence said he'd meet me there after work. I got there first, walked into Miss Jessica's classroom. It was decorated cute. Colorful posters about reading and math, student artwork on the walls, a cozy reading corner with beanbags. Miss Jessica was at her desk, looked up when I walked in. Big smile. "Mrs. Brown, hi." She stood up, came around the desk to shake my hand. "It's so nice to see you again. I just love Maya. She's such a bright, sweet girl." "Thank you," I said, smiling back. "She talks about you all the time. Miss Jessica this, Miss Jessica that." I laughed. "Aw, that makes my heart so full." She put her hand over her heart, and that's when I saw it. A ring. On her right hand, middle finger, a silver ring with a turquoise stone. Now that might not sound significant to you, but it was very significant to me. Because Terrence had that exact ring. He'd bought it 2 years ago, said he found it at some artisan market, loved the turquoise, wore it every day, and here was Miss Jessica, wearing the same ring, matching rings. My stomach dropped. "That's a pretty ring," I heard myself say, my voice sounding far away. "Oh, thank you." She looked down at it, twisted it on her finger, smiling. "It's special to me. A gift from someone important." Someone important. Right then, Terrence walked in. "Sorry I'm late," he said, slightly out of breath. Traffic was crazy. He looked at Miss Jessica. She looked at him, and I saw it. I saw the way her eyes lit up, just for a second, before she caught herself. I saw the way his face changed, just slightly. A flash of something. Fear? Guilt? And I knew, right there in that classroom, with the alphabet posters and the smell of crayons, I knew. "Mr. Brown," Miss Jessica said, her voice a little too professional, a little too careful. "Thanks for coming." She shook his hand, held it just a second too long. And I saw him glance at her right hand, at that ring. His eyes went wide, just for a moment. Then he looked at me, and he knew that I knew. The conference lasted 20 minutes. Miss Jessica talked about Maya's reading level, her math skills, her social development. I didn't hear a word. All I could see was that ring. All I could feel was my heart pounding. All I could think was, how long? How long had this been going on? We left the classroom, walked to the parking lot in silence. "I'll see you at home," Terrence said. "Yeah," I said, not looking at him. I got in my car, sat there, hands shaking on the steering wheel, and I made a decision. I wasn't going to confront him yet. Not yet. I was going to watch. I was going to pay attention. I was going to gather my receipts. Because if I was wrong, I'd feel stupid. But if I was right, I needed proof. Over the next 2 weeks, I watched. I watched how Terrence acted when Maya mentioned Miss Jessica, how he'd get this little smile, ask questions. "What did Miss Jessica teach you today? Did Miss Jessica like your project?" I watched how he volunteered to drop Maya off at school in the mornings, when he'd never done that before. Always said he had to get to work early. But now? Suddenly he had time. I watched his phone, how he kept it on silent, face down, always taking it with him to the bathroom, to the garage, anywhere I wasn't. I watched how he came home late. Stuck at work, baby. Big project deadline. Boss needed me to stay. Except, I called his job one day, pretended to be calling about our health insurance, got transferred to his extension. "Sorry, Mr. Brown left early today," the receptionist said. "Should be back tomorrow." Left early. At 3 p.m., when he told me he'd be home late because of work. Where was he? I started checking Maya's homework folder, the one she brought home every day, full of worksheets and notes from Miss Jessica. And that's when I saw the handwriting. Miss Jessica had this very specific way of writing. Bubbly letters, little hearts over the eyes. And I'd seen that handwriting before. On a grocery list I'd found in Terrence's car, weeks ago, that I'd thought was mine, but wasn't. Eggs, milk, bread, strawberries, with little hearts over the eyes. My husband's mistress was making his grocery lists. I felt sick, but I kept watching, kept gathering evidence. Then came the school fall festival. Every year, the elementary school had this big festival in November. Games, food, raffles. All the teachers volunteered. All the families came. Terrence usually worked these events, said they were boring. But this year, I think I should come, he said. Support Maya's school. Be more involved. Red flag. Major red flag. The festival was on a Saturday. We got there at 10 a.m. Maya ran off with her friends. I volunteered at the cakewalk. Terrence said he was going to walk around. I watched him. I watched him go to the face painting booth, where Miss Jessica was volunteering, painting little kids' faces. I watched him stand there, talking to her, laughing. I watched her paint a butterfly on some little girl's cheek, the whole time looking up at Terrence, smiling. I watched him lean in, say something. I watched her laugh, touch his arm, right there, in front of everybody, at my daughter's school, and nobody noticed, because why would they? He's just a parent, she's just a teacher, they're just chatting, except they weren't just chatting. I left the cakewalk booth, walked over there. Hey, I said, my voice tight. Terrence jumped. Actually, jumped. Oh, hey, baby. Too enthusiastic. Too loud. I was just thanking Miss Jessica for all her hard work with Maya. I said, looking directly at Miss Jessica. She smiled at me. That fake teacher smile. Maya's such a pleasure to have in class, she said. I looked at her hand. That ring. Still there. Then I looked at Terrence's hand. His ring. Matching. That's a pretty ring, I said to her, voice sweet as pie. Where'd you get it? Her smile faltered, just slightly. Oh, a gift. From who? I pressed. Just a friend. I looked at Terrence. Funny. Terrence has the same ring. The color drained from his face. Miss Jessica's eyes went wide. Oh, what a coincidence, she said, voice too high, too fake. Yeah, I said, still looking at Terrence. What a coincidence. I walked away. My hands were shaking. My vision was blurry. But I walked away because I was in public, at my daughter's school, and I wasn't going to make a scene. Not yet. That night, after Maya went to bed, I confronted him. I know, I said. We were in the living room, me on the couch, him in the armchair. Know what? He said, not looking at me. Don't play with me, Terrence. My voice was shaking. Don't you dare play with me. I don't know what you're talking about. Miss Jessica. He froze. You're sleeping with Miss Jessica. Maya's teacher. Our daughter's teacher. Keisha, don't lie to me. I stood up. I saw the rings. I saw how you look at her. I called your job and you weren't there. I know, Terrence. Silence. Long, horrible silence. Then he put his head in his hands. I'm sorry, he whispered. And just like that, my whole world shattered. I'm sorry. Those two words that I'd been dreading to hear, because hearing them meant it was real. How long? I asked. My voice didn't even sound like mine. He didn't answer. How long, Terrence? 2 years, he whispered. Still not looking at me. 2 years. Maya had been in Miss Jessica's class for 3 months, which meant, you were with her before she was Maya's teacher? He nodded. So you knew. You knew she was going to be Maya's teacher. And you didn't say anything? I didn't know how to... How did you even meet her? He was quiet for a long moment. The gym, he finally said. 2 years ago. We both went to the same gym. We started talking. And then you started fucking her. I never cursed. Well, rarely. But right then, I didn't care. While I was home with our daughter, while I was working, while I was being a wife to you, you were out there with her. Keisha, I didn't mean for it to happen. Nobody means for it to happen. I was screaming now, not caring if Maya woke up. It happens because you choose it. You chose to talk to her at the gym. You chose to get her number. You chose to take it further. You chose to lie to me. Every single day for 2 years. He finally looked at me, and I saw tears in his eyes, but I felt nothing. Does she know about me? I asked. About Maya? Yes. So she knew you were married, knew you had a child, and she thought we were separated, he said quickly. I laughed, a horrible, bitter laugh. Separated? We live in the same house, sleep in the same bed. How did you explain that? I told her we were staying together for Maya, until we figured things out. Oh my God. I sat back down. My legs couldn't hold me anymore. So you told her we were basically over, made her think she was the real relationship, while I'm here thinking I have a husband. He didn't respond. When did she find out she was going to be Maya's teacher? In August, when she got her class roster. And what did you say? I panicked. I told her maybe we should cool things off, at least until the school year was over. But you didn't cool things off. No. Because I've seen you, dropping Maya off in the mornings. At the fall festival, you're still with her. It's complicated. It's not complicated. I stood up again, pacing now. You're a cheater. She's a homewrecker. And my daughter is in the middle of this mess. Maya doesn't know anything. Maya adores her teacher. Talks about her constantly. Thinks she walks on water. And the whole time that woman is sleeping with her father. She cares about Maya. Cares about her? I got right in his face. If she cared about Maya, she would have never touched you. A real woman would have said, you're married, you have a child. I can't do this. But she didn't. Because she don't care about nobody but herself. You don't even know her. And you do? What do you even talk about with this girl? She's what, 28? 29? Fresh out of college? What could she possibly offer you that I don't? Silence. And in that silence, I heard what he wasn't saying. She was young. No kids, no responsibilities, no stretch marks, no exhaustion from working full-time and raising a child. She was fun. She was easy. She was an escape. Get out, I said quietly. What? Get out. Of my house. Now. Keisha, it's 11 p.m. I don't care what time it is. Get your stuff and get out. Where am I supposed to go? Go to her house, since you've been spending so much time there anyway. Go to your girlfriend's house. I can't just leave. You should have thought about that before you stuck your dick in my daughter's teacher. He flinched. Good. I'm not leaving, he said, standing up now. This is my house, too. Fine. I grabbed my purse, my keys. Then I'll leave. Where are you going? Somewhere I don't have to look at your face. I went to Maya's room. She was asleep. My sweet baby, sleeping peacefully, with no idea that her whole world was falling apart. I kissed her forehead, whispered, "Mama loves you," and left. I drove to my sister's house. Cece lived 20 minutes away, had her own place, no husband, no kids, living her best single life. I rang the doorbell at 11:30 p.m. She opened the door in her bonnet and pajamas, took one look at my face. "Girl, what happened?" And I broke. Fell into her arms, sobbing, right there on her doorstep. She pulled me inside, made me sit on her couch, brought me a glass of wine. "Talk," she said. So I did. I told her everything. The text message, the ring, the parent-teacher conference, the fall festival, the confrontation, all of it. By the time I finished, Cece was pacing. "I'm gonna kill him," she said. "I swear to God, Keisha, I'm gonna kill him." "Get in line," I muttered. "And this teacher. This little—" Cece couldn't even finish the sentence. "She's supposed to be a professional. She's supposed to be trusted with children. And she's out here sleeping with a married man. A married man whose child is in her class." "I know." "No, like, do you know how messed up that is?" Cece sat down next to me. "That's not just cheating, Keisha. That's a violation. She had access to your child. That's a power dynamic. That's sick." I hadn't thought about it like that. But she was right. Miss Jessica wasn't just some random woman. She was in a position of authority over my daughter. She saw Maya every day, taught her, graded her work, had conversations with her, all while sleeping with Maya's father. My stomach turned. "I'm gonna be sick," I said. I ran to Cece's bathroom, threw up. Everything from dinner came up. Everything from my soul came up. I sat on that bathroom floor, crying. This wasn't just about Terrence cheating. This was about my daughter, my innocent baby girl. Who was caught in the middle of this? How was I going to explain this to her? How was I going to tell her she couldn't be in Miss Jessica's class anymore? How was I going to explain why? She was 7 years old. I went back to the living room. Cece had made me a bed on the couch. Pillows, blankets, everything. "You staying here tonight?" she said. Not a question. A statement. "What about Maya?" I said. "Maya's with her daddy. She'll be fine for one night. You need to process this." Away from him. She was right. I couldn't go back there. Not tonight. Not while I was this angry. I called Terrence. He answered on the first ring. "Where are you?" he said. "Are you okay?" "I'm at Cece's. I'll be home in the morning. Before Maya wakes up." "Keisha, don't. Just don't. Make sure Maya gets breakfast. Make sure she gets to school on time. That's all I need from you right now." I hung up. That night, I didn't sleep. I laid on Cece's couch, staring at the ceiling, replaying everything. Every time Terrence had said he was working late, every time he'd volunteered to drop Maya off at school, every time he'd been on his phone, every time he'd been distant. The signs had been there. I'd just ignored them. No, that's not fair. He'd hidden them. He'd lied. He'd been careful. This wasn't on me. This was on him. And on her. At 6 a.m., I drove home. The house was quiet. Terrence's car was in the driveway. I let myself in, went straight to Maya's room. She was still asleep. Peaceful. Perfect. I watched her for a moment. My baby girl. How was I going to protect her from this? At 7 a.m., her alarm went off. She woke up, saw me, smiled. "Morning, Mama." "Morning, baby." I kissed her forehead. "Let's get you ready for school." I helped her pick out clothes, brushed her hair into 2 puffs, made her breakfast, packed her lunch. Normal. Acting normal. Even though inside I was screaming. Terrence came downstairs. Looked like he hadn't slept either. Good. "I'll take her to school," he said. "No," I said. Calm. "I'm taking her." "Keisha." I looked at him. One look that said, "Don't push me." He backed off. I drove Maya to school, parked in the drop-off line. Usually I'd just wave goodbye, let her run to her classroom. But today? "Mama's gonna walk you in," I said. "Really?" Maya smiled. "You never do that." "Special day," I said. We walked through the school halls, hand in hand. My heart was pounding, because I knew I was about to see her, Miss Jessica. We got to the classroom door, and there she was, standing in the doorway, greeting students as they came in. big smile on her face. "Good morning, Maya," she said brightly. Then she saw me. The smile faltered, just slightly. "Mrs. Brown," she said, her voice a little less bright. "Miss Jessica," I said, my voice ice cold. "Can I talk to you?" "In private?" "Oh, sure." She looked around. "Can you give me just a few minutes? I need to get the kids settled. Now." She blinked. "Okay. Mrs. Thompson?" She called to the teacher across the hall. "Can you watch my class for a moment?" The other teacher nodded. Miss Jessica led me to a small office. A supply closet, really, where teachers kept extra paper and art supplies. She closed the door, turned to face me. "Mrs. Brown, don't." I held up my hand. "Don't say a word. Just listen." She nodded, looking scared now. "Good. I know," I said simply. "About you and Terrence." Her face went white. I don't know what you... Don't lie to me." My voice was shaking now, but not with sadness, with rage. "I know. The rings, the text messages, all of it." She started crying. Right there. Tears streaming down her face. "I'm so sorry," she sobbed. "I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't cut it." I stepped closer to her, got right in her face. "You are my daughter's teacher. You are supposed to be a professional, someone I can trust. And instead, you've been sleeping with my husband for 2 years, while teaching my child, while looking me in my face at conferences, while accepting my thank you gifts, while pretending to care about my family." "I do care," she started. "You don't care," I was yelling now, not caring who heard. "If you cared, you would have stayed away from him. If you cared, you would have quit when you found out Maya was in your class. But you didn't. Because you're selfish. It wasn't like that. Then what was it like?" She was sobbing harder now, mascara running down her face. "I love him," she whispered. "And girl. Something in me snapped. "You love him?" I laughed. That horrible, bitter laugh again. "You love a married man? A man with a child? That's not love, sweetie. That's delusion. He said you two were separated. We're not separated. We live in the same house. Sleep in the same bed. We're married. He said it was complicated. It's not complicated. He lied to you. Just like he lied to me." Her face crumpled, and for a split second, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost, because she was young and stupid, and had believed a married man when he told her what she wanted to hear. But then I remembered. She was my daughter's teacher. And that sympathy died. "Maya can't be in your class anymore," I said. "Mrs. Brown, please." "She can't. I'm going to the principal today. I'm requesting an immediate transfer. Please don't do this." "Don't do this? You did this. You and Terrence. You made this choice. Now you deal with the consequences. I could lose my job." "Good." I opened the door, ready to leave. Then I turned back. "You should lose your job. Because you clearly don't understand professional boundaries. You clearly don't understand ethics. And you clearly don't give a damn about the families you're supposed to serve. Stay away from my husband. Stay away from my daughter. Stay away from my family." And I walked out. I went straight to the principal's office. Principal Reynolds was a black woman in her 50s. No nonsense. Fair, but firm. "Mrs. Brown," she said when I walked in. "What can I do for you?" "I need Maya transferred out of Miss Jessica's class. Immediately." "Oh." She looked surprised. "Is there a problem with Miss Jessica's teaching?" I took a deep breath. "Miss Jessica has been having an affair with my husband." Principal Reynolds's eyes went wide. "I found out last night. I just confronted her this morning. And I need my daughter out of that classroom. Today." "Oh my God," Principal Reynolds said. She sat back in her chair. Mrs. Brown, I am so sorry. I need to know what your policy is on this. Our policy? She said slowly. Well, this is highly inappropriate. This is a violation of professional conduct. This is grounds for termination. Good. But, she continued, I need to do an investigation. I need to talk to Miss Jessica. Get her side of the story. Follow proper procedures. How long will that take? A few days. Maybe a week. And in the meantime, my daughter is supposed to go to her class? Like nothing's wrong? I can transfer Maya immediately, she said. We have another second-grade teacher, Mrs. Patterson. She has space in her class. I can have Maya moved today. Thank you. And I will start the investigation into Miss Jessica immediately. I want you to know, we take this very seriously. This is not acceptable behavior from our staff. I nodded. Can I ask? Principal Reynolds said gently. Does Maya know? About the affair? No. And I'd like to keep it that way. As much as possible. Of course. We'll simply tell her that we're moving her to a different class. She doesn't need to know the details. Thank you. I left the office, feeling slightly better, slightly more in control. Maya was moved to Mrs. Patterson's class that same day. She was upset at first. But I love Miss Jessica, she cried. Why do I have to change? Mrs. Patterson is a great teacher too, I said. And you'll make new friends. It'll be good, baby, I promise. She pouted, but she accepted it. Because she was 7, and 7-year-olds are resilient. That night, I told Terrence what I'd done. You did what? He said. I told the principal. About you and Miss Jessica. Maya's been transferred. And Miss Jessica is under investigation. Keisha, you can't. I can. And I did. Do you know what this could do to her career? Do I care what this does to her career? I was incredulous. She slept with a married man while teaching his child. She deserves to lose her job. You're being vindictive. I'm being a mother. I'm protecting my child from a woman who clearly has no boundaries. She's not a bad person. You're defending her? Right now? You're defending the woman you cheated on me with? He went quiet. I want a divorce, I said. The words hung in the air. Keisha, I'm done, Terrence. I can't do this. I can't look at you. I can't trust you. I can't be married to you. We can go to counseling. No, there's no coming back from this. You didn't just cheat on me. You brought your mess into our daughter's life. You put her in a position where her teacher was your mistress. That's not something counseling can fix. Please, he said, and he was crying now, full-on crying. Please don't do this. I love you. I love Maya. I'll do anything. You should have thought about that before. I called a lawyer the next day. Her name was Simone Jenkins, black woman, mid-40s, came highly recommended. Tell me everything, she said. So I did. Okay, she said when I finished. Here's what we're gonna do. We're filing for divorce, citing adultery. That's grounds in this state. We're going for primary custody, with supervised visitation for him. Given the nature of the affair, the fact that it involved your daughter's teacher, we can argue that his judgment is questionable. We're going for child support, and alimony if you qualify, which you might, depending on the length of the marriage and income disparity. And we're documenting everything, every text, every email, every interaction with Miss Jessica, every penny he spent on her. All of it, I nodded, taking it all in. This is gonna get ugly, Simone warned. He's gonna fight back. They always do. But we have the truth on our side, and that counts for a lot. Over the next few weeks, everything fell apart. Miss Jessica was placed on administrative leave, pending the investigation. Word got out. Because of course it did. Other parents started talking. Did you hear about Miss Jessica? Apparently, she was sleeping with one of the dads. Whose dad? I don't know, but they moved the daughter to a different class. Some people figured it out. Some people looked at me with pity. I hated that look. Maya started asking questions. Mama, why doesn't Daddy live with us anymore? Terrence had moved out, into an apartment. Daddy and I are taking some time apart, baby. Is it because of me? My heart. No, baby. No. I pulled her into my lap. This has nothing to do with you. Daddy and I are having grown-up problems. But we both love you so much. That will never change. She cried, asked if we were getting back together. And I had to tell her, as gently as I could. Probably not, baby. But that doesn't mean Daddy doesn't love you. You'll still see him. All the time. It broke my heart, watching her process this, watching her innocence die a little. But I also knew this was better than staying, better than pretending, better than teaching her that this kind of disrespect was acceptable. 3 months into the divorce process, the school's investigation concluded. Miss Jessica was fired. Officially, it was for a violation of professional ethics and conduct. I felt nothing, not satisfaction, not vindication, nothing, because none of it brought back what I'd lost, my marriage, my trust, my daughter's innocence. Terrence tried to call me, multiple times. She got fired, Keisha. Are you happy now? Happy? I laughed. You think I'm happy? My daughter asks me every night why her daddy doesn't live with us. My daughter cries because she misses you. No, Terrence. I'm not happy. But she should have been fired. And you know that. What she did was wrong. What you did was wrong. And there are consequences. He hung up on me. Fine. The divorce was finalized 6 months later. I got primary custody. Terrence got every other weekend and Wednesday dinners. He paid child support, $1,200 a month. I got to keep the house. He took his retirement account. We split everything else. It was over. But girl, the healing? That was just beginning. Because getting divorced was the easy part. The paperwork, the lawyers, the judge. Healing my heart, healing my daughter's heart, learning to trust again, learning to be a single mother, that was the hard part. And that's where my real story begins. The first 6 months after the divorce were the hardest. I'm not gonna lie to you. There were days I didn't want to get out of bed. Days I cried in the shower so Maya wouldn't hear. Days I put on a smile at work and fell apart the second I got home. Because grief ain't just about death, y'all. Grief is about loss. And I had lost my marriage, lost my trust, lost the future I thought I was building. Even though he was the one who cheated. Even though he was the one who lied. Even though he destroyed everything. I was the one left picking up the pieces. I was the one who had to comfort Maya when she cried for her daddy. I was the one who had to explain why we didn't live together anymore. I was the one who had to be strong, when all I wanted to do was break. Money was tight, real tight. Terrence's child support helped, but $1,200 a month wasn't what we'd had when we were together. When there were 2 incomes, the mortgage was $1,500 a month, utilities, groceries, Maya's after-school care, gas, insurance. It added up fast. I picked up extra shifts at work. I was a medical assistant at a family practice, made decent money, but not enough. So I worked overtime, came home exhausted, barely had energy to make dinner. We ate a lot of chicken nuggets those first few months, a lot of frozen pizza, a lot of whatever was quick and easy. I felt guilty about it, like I was failing Maya. But my mama reminded me, baby, you're doing the best you can. A fed child is a loved child. Don't you worry about gourmet meals right now. Just survive. So that's what I did. I survived. Maya struggled too. She started acting out at school. Mrs. Patterson called me in for a meeting. Maya's been having some behavioral issues, she said gently. Talking back. Not following directions. getting into arguments with other kids. I know she's going through a lot at home. Is there anything I should know? Anything I can do to support her? I appreciated that. Mrs. Patterson was good people. Her dad and I just got divorced, I said. It's been an adjustment. I understand. She nodded sympathetically. Divorce is hard on kids. Especially at this age. Is there a school counselor she can talk to? Yes, absolutely. I'll set that up. So Maya started seeing the school counselor. Ms. Rodriguez. Twice a week. Just to talk. To process her feelings. And slowly, she started to improve. But there were still hard days, like the day she came home from Terrence's house, crying. What's wrong, baby? I asked. Daddy has a new friend, she said, wiping her nose. My stomach dropped. What kind of friend? A lady friend. She was at his apartment, making breakfast. Oh, hell no. I called Terrence immediately. Did you have a woman around my daughter? Keisha, calm down. Don't tell me to calm down. We've been divorced for 6 months. And you already got somebody new around my child? It's not like that. Who is she? Is it her? Is it Miss Jessica? No, he said quickly. No, it's not Jessica. It's someone I met recently. Her name is Brianna. I don't care what her name is. You don't bring random women around Maya. Not until it's serious. Not until I've met her. That's co-parenting 101. You're right, he said, surprisingly calm. You're right, I'm sorry. It won't happen again. It better not. But the damage was done. Maya was confused, asking questions. Is Daddy gonna marry the breakfast lady? Does Daddy love her more than you? Does Daddy love her more than me? And I had to reassure her, over and over. Daddy loves you so much. More than anyone in the world. Grown-ups can be friends with other grown-ups. That doesn't change how much he loves you. Even though inside, I was furious. 6 months. 6 months and he already moved on. While I was still crying myself to sleep. Still jumping every time the phone rang, hoping it was him saying he was sorry. Still wearing my wedding ring on a chain around my neck because I couldn't let go yet. He'd already moved on. That hurt. More than I wanted to admit. My girl Shayla suggested therapy. Girl, you need to talk to somebody. A professional. Somebody who can help you process all this. I can't afford therapy, I said. Yes, you can. Your insurance covers it. I checked. Shayla was a nurse too. Knew all about insurance. Just try it. 1 session. If you don't like it, you don't have to go back. So I made an appointment. With Dr. Michelle Carter. Black woman, early 50s. Locks down her back. Warm smile. Tell me why you're here, she said in our first session. And I told her, everything. The affair, Miss Jessica, the divorce, Maya, the pain. I cried the whole session. You've been through trauma, Dr. Carter said. Betrayal trauma. And you're allowed to feel that. You're allowed to grieve. But you also need to heal. Because if you don't heal, this pain is going to follow you. Into your next relationship. Into your relationship with your daughter. Into everything. How do I heal? I asked. When everything still hurts? 1 day at a time, she said. 1 moment at a time. 1 breath at a time. So that's what I did. I went to therapy every week. Dr. Carter taught me about boundaries, about self-care, about the difference between healing and just surviving. She taught me that it was okay to be angry, okay to cry, okay to have bad days. But I also needed good days. Days where I did something for me. Days where I remembered who I was before Terrence. So I started small. I joined a book club at the library every other Tuesday night. My mama would watch Maya, and I'd go, read books, talk to other women who had their own stories, their own struggles. It felt good to be Keisha, not just Maya's mom, Not just Terrence's ex-wife. Just Keisha. I started working out. Nothing crazy. Just walking in the mornings. Before Maya woke up. 5:30 a.m., I'd be up, put on my sneakers, walk around the neighborhood for 30 minutes. It cleared my head. Gave me time to think, to breathe, to remember that I was alive. And slowly, so slowly, I started to feel like myself again. A year after the divorce, I got promoted at work, office manager, more money, better hours, more respect. I'd been working my tail off, proving myself, showing up early, staying late when needed, taking on extra responsibilities, and it paid off. I was making $48,000 a year now. Not rich, but stable. I could pay my bills on time, put food on the table, even save a little bit. For the first time in a year, I could breathe. Maya was doing better too. She'd stopped seeing the school counselor, was making friends, doing well in class, smiling again. She'd adjusted to the routine, week with me, weekends with Dad. It wasn't perfect, but it was working. And that's all I could ask for. I took down my wedding photos. They'd been up on the walls for over a year after the divorce, because I couldn't bring myself to remove them. But one Saturday morning, I woke up, looked at that picture of Terrence and me on our wedding day, both of us smiling, both of us so young, both of us so naive, and I felt nothing. Not sadness, not anger, nothing. So I took it down, put it in a box in the closet, for Maya, when she was older, if she wanted to see it. But I didn't need it on my wall anymore. I started dating, not seriously, just getting back out there. Shayla set me up with her cousin Marcus, not my ex-husband Marcus. Different Marcus. This Marcus was nice, worked in IT, tall, dark-skinned, great smile. We went on a few dates, dinner, movies, mini golf. It was fun, but it wasn't serious, and that was okay. Because I wasn't ready for serious. I was just ready to remember that I was desirable, that I was worthy, that I was more than what Terrence made me feel. 18 months after the divorce, Terrence called. Keisha, can we talk? I sighed. What about? About us. There is no U.S. Terrence. I know. I want to apologize. Really apologize. For everything. I was quiet. I've been in therapy, he continued. Working on myself. Understanding why I did what I did. And I want you to know I'm sorry. I'm sorry for hurting you. I'm sorry for lying. I'm sorry for bringing that mess into Maya's life. Okay, I said. That's it? He asked. Just okay? What do you want me to say, Terrence? Thank you for apologizing? All is forgiven? I don't know, he said. I guess I just hoped. Hoped what? That we could try again? Silence. No, I said finally, firmly. Keisha. No, Terrence. I appreciate the apology. I really do. And I'm glad you're in therapy. But we're not getting back together. Why not? Because I don't love you anymore. The words hung in the air. And they were true. Somewhere between the tears and the therapy, between the sleepless nights and the morning walks, between picking up the pieces and putting myself back together, I'd stopped loving him. Not in a bitter way, not in an angry way. I just didn't feel it anymore. I don't wish you harm, I continued. I hope you find happiness. I hope you become the man Maya deserves as a father. But you and me, we're done. We've been done, and I'm okay with that. I'm not, he said quietly. That's not my problem anymore. And I hung up. That night, I looked at myself in the mirror. Really looked. I'd lost weight. Not from trying, just from stress. From moving more. From forgetting to eat sometimes. My face was different. More tired around the eyes. But also, stronger somehow. My hair was different too. I'd cut it, got a short, tapered, natural cut. Something I'd always wanted. But Terrence used to say he preferred long hair. Well, Terrence didn't get an opinion anymore. I looked at myself. This 36-year-old black woman, single mother, survivor. And I smiled, because I liked who I saw. 2 years after the divorce, I bought a new house. Well, new to me. A little 3-bedroom townhouse in a good school district with a small backyard. It was mine, just mine. No memories of Terrence, no ghosts of what used to be. Maya helped me pick out paint colors, purple for her room. Like a princess, she said. Sage green for mine. Peaceful, calming. We moved in on a Saturday. My mama, Cece, Shayla, and a few other friends helped. That night, after everything was unpacked, after Maya was asleep in her new purple room, I sat on my new couch, in my new living room, in my new house. And I cried, but not sad tears this time, grateful tears, because I'd made it. I'd survived the affair, survived the divorce, survived being broke, survived the pain. And I'd come out the other side, not perfect, not unscathed, but alive and whole and strong. I started volunteering at Maya's school, helping with the PTA, chaperoning field trips, running the book fair. And one day I met someone, Mr. Harrison, the gym teacher, tall, dark-skinned brother, maybe 40, 41, divorced, 2 kids of his own. We started talking, just friendly at first. Then he asked me to coffee. Just as friends, he said quickly. I know you got a lot going on, but I'd like to get to know you better. I said yes. We went to Starbucks, talked for 2 hours. About our kids, our divorces, our dreams, our fears. It felt easy, natural, safe. We started dating, slowly, carefully. I didn't introduce him to Maya for 6 months, because I was protecting her, protecting us. But when I finally did, they got along great. He was patient with her, kind, didn't try to replace her daddy, just showed up. That's all I needed. Someone who showed up. 3 years after the divorce, I ran into Miss Jessica, at Target, of all places. I was in the cleaning supplies aisle, looking for laundry detergent, and there she was, looking different, older, tired, pregnant, very pregnant. We made eye contact. She froze. I froze. For a long moment, neither of us said anything. Then she spoke. Keisha, she said softly. Mrs. Brown. Jessica, I said. Not Miss, just Jessica. She started, tears filling her eyes. I'm so sorry. For everything. I think about it every day. What I did. How I hurt you. How I hurt Maya. I looked at her. This woman who'd helped destroy my marriage. This woman I'd hated. And I felt pity. She'd lost her job, her career, her reputation, all for a man who'd lied to her too. Are you? I gestured to her belly. Yeah, she said, putting her hand on her stomach. 6 months. Congratulations, I said. And I meant it. Thank you. She smiled sadly. I'm with someone new. Someone good. Someone honest. I'm glad. For what it's worth, she said. I learned a lot from what happened. I'll never make those choices again. I know that doesn't change anything. But I wanted you to know. I nodded. I forgive you, I said. And I meant it. Not because she deserved it, but because I deserved peace. And holding on to that anger, that bitterness, it was only hurting me. Thank you, she whispered, fresh tears falling. We stood there for another moment. Then I pushed my cart past her and walked away. For the last time. That night I told Dr. Carter about it. How did it feel? She asked. Seeing her? Forgiving her? It felt, I thought about it, free. Good, Dr. Carter smiled. That's growth, Keisha. That's healing. And she was right. I was healing, day by day, moment by moment, breath by breath. I was becoming someone new, someone stronger, someone who knew her worth, someone who wouldn't settle, someone who wouldn't accept disrespect, someone who would choose herself every single time. 4 years after the divorce, Marcus Harrison proposed. Not my ex-husband, Marcus. Mr. Harrison, the gym teacher, the man who'd shown up consistently, who'd proven himself trustworthy, who loved me and loved Maya. He got down on one knee in my living room with Maya there. "Keisha Brown," he said, "you are the strongest woman I've ever met. You've taught me what real love looks like, what real partnership looks like, and I want to spend the rest of my life proving to you that you made the right choice. Will you marry me?" Maya was jumping up and down. "Say yes, Mama. Say yes." And I looked at this man, this good man, who'd waited patiently, who'd earned my trust, who'd shown me that not all men were like Terrence. "Yes," I said, tears streaming down my face. "Yes, I'll marry you." We got married a year later. Small ceremony. In my mama's backyard. Just family and close friends. Maya was my flower girl. Wore a purple dress she picked out herself. And as I stood there, saying my vows to a man who valued me, who respected me, who would never betray me, I thought about that day. 5 years ago, when my world fell apart, when Terrence's phone buzzed, when I saw that text, when everything changed, and I realized something. That day destroyed me, but it also saved me, because if it hadn't happened, I'd still be married to a man who didn't deserve me. I'd still be settling. I'd still be small. But now I was free. Now I was strong. Now I was loved the way I deserved. And that was worth everything. Today, I'm 43 years old. Maya is 15, a freshman in high school, honor roll, volleyball team, drama club, beautiful, smart, confident, everything I could have hoped for. And you know what? She's okay. The divorce didn't break her. Her daddy's betrayal didn't destroy her, because I made sure she got what she needed. Therapy, love, stability, truth. As she got older, I told her more. Age-appropriate, but honest. When she was 12, she asked me directly, "Mama, why did you and Daddy really get divorced?" We were in the kitchen, making brownies. I turned off the mixer, took a deep breath. "Your daddy made some choices that hurt our marriage," I said carefully. "He was unfaithful. He had a relationship with someone else while we were married." "Who?" she asked. I hesitated, but she deserved the truth. "Miss Jessica," I said quietly. "Your second-grade teacher." Her eyes went wide. "Miss Jessica? The one I got moved away from?" "Yes." She was quiet for a long moment, processing. "That's why you moved me," she said. Not a question, a realization. "Yes, baby." "Did she know about me?" "Yes." "And she still—" Maya couldn't finish the sentence. "Yes." "That's messed up." "It is." "I'm sorry that happened to you, Mama." And just like that, my 15-year-old daughter was comforting me. "Thank you, baby." I pulled her into a hug. "But you know what? I'm not sorry anymore." "Why not?" "Because if it hadn't happened, I wouldn't be married to Marcus. You wouldn't have Marcus Jr. and Destiny as your siblings. We wouldn't have this life. And I love this life." She smiled. "I love this life too." And she meant it. Because our life was good. Really good. Marcus Harrison and I had been married for 4 years now. Together for 5. He'd brought 2 kids into the marriage. Marcus Jr., 17. Destiny, 13. They were good kids, and they treated Maya like their sister. We were a blended family, and it worked. Not perfectly. We had our struggles, our disagreements, our adjustments, but we communicated. We respected each other. We showed up. Marcus was everything Terrence wasn't. Present, honest, faithful, consistent. He didn't just say he loved me. He showed it. Every single day. In the little things. making my coffee in the morning, asking about my day, listening when I talked, supporting my dreams, and in the big things, being there for Maya, co-parenting with Terrence respectfully, building a home with me, not just a house, a home. I'd gone back to school 2 years ago, at 41, got my nursing degree. Yeah, from medical assistant to nurse. It took me 3 years, going part-time, while working, while being a wife, while being a mama to 3 kids. But I did it. Graduated with honors. Maya, Marcus, and the kids were all there, screaming and cheering when I walked across that stage. I cried. Happy tears, proud tears, because I'd done something for me, something I'd always wanted, but had put off because of Terrence, because of marriage, because of life. Well, I wasn't putting it off anymore. Now I work at Children's Healthcare, pediatric nurse, making $68,000 a year, more money than I'd ever made, more respect than I'd ever had, more pride in what I do. Every day I take care of sick kids, comfort worried parents, make a difference. And I love it. We bought a house, Marcus and me, together. A real house, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, big backyard, in a neighborhood with good schools, safe streets, nice neighbors, the kind of house I used to dream about. And now, it was mine. Well, ours. But you know what I mean. I was happy, genuinely, deeply, truly happy. Not because I had a man, though Marcus was wonderful, but because I had myself. I knew who I was. I knew what I was worth. I knew what I would and wouldn't accept, and I'd built a life I was proud of. 7 years after the divorce, I ran into Terrence, not randomly this time, at Maya's volleyball game. He was there watching, like he usually was. Good for him. He'd actually become a better father over the years. More present, more involved. But this time, he'd brought someone. A woman. His girlfriend. Or wife, maybe? I didn't keep up with his love life. She was young, mid-30s maybe. Pretty. Latina. Not the breakfast lady from years ago. Someone new. They sat on the opposite side of the bleachers. And that was fine. We kept our distance, co-parented civilly, but we weren't friends. After the game, Maya ran over to us. "Did you see that spike, Mama?" She was glowing. "I saw it, baby. You were amazing." Marcus was right behind me, put his arm around my waist. "You killed it out there, Maya," he said. Proud stepdad smile. "Thanks, Marcus." Then Maya looked past us. "Oh, Daddy's here," she waved. Terrence walked over, with his girlfriend. "Great game, baby girl," he said, hugging Maya. "Thanks, Daddy." Then he looked at me, then at Marcus. "Keisha," he said, nodding. "Terrence," I said back, polite but distant. "Marcus," he nodded at my husband. "Terrence." Marcus nodded back, awkward silence. Then Terrence's girlfriend stepped forward. "Hi, I'm Vanessa." Bright smile, hand extended. "Nice to meet you," I said, shaking her hand. "I'm Keisha, Maya's mom." "Oh, I've heard so much about you." She was bubbly, too bubbly, trying too hard. "Vanessa and I have been together for about a year," Terrence said, looking at me, like he was waiting for a reaction. "That's nice," I said, genuinely meaning it. "Congratulations." He looked surprised. "You're not upset?" "Upset?" I laughed. "Terrence, we've been divorced for 7 years. Why would I be upset that you're dating?" "I just thought—" "Thought what? That I was still hung up on you?" I looked at Marcus. My husband. The man who'd shown me what real love was. Then back at Terrence. "I'm good," I said simply. "Really good." And the look on his face. Girl, the look. It was like he finally realized. I'd moved on. Really moved on. Not just dating someone new, but healed, happy, whole. Without him. "Well," he said, clearing his throat. That's good." I'm glad you're happy. Thank you. I am. We stood there for another awkward moment. Then Maya saved us. Can we go get ice cream? She asked. The team is going to Brewster's. Sure, baby, I said, grateful for the out. We said our goodbyes, went our separate ways. In the car, Marcus looked at me. You okay? He asked. Yeah, I said, and I meant it. Why wouldn't I be? I don't know, seeing him with someone new. I thought maybe. Baby. I took his hand. That man is my past. You are my present. And my future. I don't want him back. I don't miss him. I don't think about him. I just want him to be a good father to Maya. That's it. That's all. Marcus smiled, kissed my hand. I love you, Keisha Harrison. I love you too, baby. And I did, with everything in me. But more importantly, I loved myself. Last year, something happened that brought everything full circle. I was at the hospital, working my shift, and a little girl came in, 7 years old, broken arm, crying, scared. Her mother was with her, young white woman, blonde hair, looking stressed, worried. I walked into the room to prep the little girl for x-rays, and I looked at the mother, really looked, and I realized it was her, Jessica, Miss Jessica. She looked up, saw me, and froze. Keisha, she whispered. Jessica, I said calmly, professional. You're a nurse? I am. I didn't know. No reason you would. I turned to the little girl. Hi, sweetie. I'm Nurse Keisha. I'm gonna take good care of you, okay? She nodded, sniffling. I did my job, got her prepped for x-rays, made her comfortable, explained everything in a calm, soothing voice. The whole time, Jessica watched me. After the doctor came and set the little girl's arm, after she was discharged, Jessica approached me in the hallway. Keisha, she said, can we talk? Just for a minute? I looked at my watch. I had 5 minutes before my next patient. Sure, I said. We stepped into an empty consultation room. I just want to say, she started, tears in her eyes already. Thank you for how you treated my daughter. You were so kind to her. Even knowing who I am. Even after everything I did. Your daughter didn't do anything to me, I said simply. She's a child. She deserves compassion. That's my job. Still, Jessica said, I know I don't deserve your kindness. But thank you. I nodded. How have you been? She asked. I've been good, I said. Really good. Married, 3 kids now, working as a nurse. Living my best life. I'm glad, she said. And she seemed to mean it. How about you? I asked. Not because I cared deeply, but because it was the polite thing to do. I'm okay, she said. Remarried. That's my daughter, Emma. I'm teaching again. High school now. Got my license back after 5 years. Good for you. I learned a lot from what happened, she said. I'm not that person anymore. I go to therapy. I work on myself. I make better choices. That's good, I said. And I meant it. Because her growth wasn't about me. Her healing wasn't about me. But I was glad she was trying. I really am sorry, she said. For everything. I know I've said it before. But I mean it. Every day I regret the choices I made. I forgave you, I said. Years ago. Not for you. For me. Because holding on to that anger was only hurting me. But let me be clear. I looked her in the eye. I forgive you. But I'll never forget. What you did was wrong. On so many levels. You violated your professional ethics. You betrayed a parent's trust. You helped destroy a family. And even though I've moved on, even though I'm happy now, that doesn't erase what you did. She nodded, crying now. I know, she whispered. I know, but I also want you to know, I continued. What you did to me, it actually saved me. She looked up, confused. Because if you hadn't come to that baby shower, if I hadn't found out about the affair, I'd still be married to a man who didn't value me. I'd still be small, still be settling, still be less than I am now. But because of what happened, I found my strength. I found my worth. I found myself. So, in a twisted way, thank you. She just stared at me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I said. I have patience to see. And I walked out, head high, shoulders back, powerful, because I wasn't that broken woman anymore, the one who cried on her sister's couch, the one who didn't know how she'd survive. I was Keisha Harrison, nurse, wife, mother, survivor, and I was unstoppable. So let me tell you something, girl. If you're listening to this story and you're going through something similar, if your husband cheated, if your trust was betrayed, if your world fell apart, I want you to know you will survive this. I know it doesn't feel like it right now. I know it feels like you're drowning, like the pain will never end, like you'll never be whole again. But you will. Day by day, breath by breath, tear by tear, you will put yourself back together. And here's the thing. The woman you become. On the other side of this pain, she's going to be stronger than the woman you were before. She's going to be wiser. She's going to know her worth. She's going to take less nonsense. She's going to demand more respect. And she's going to be beautiful. Not because she's perfect, but because she's real, because she's survived, because she's chosen herself. So cry if you need to cry. Scream if you need to scream. Be angry if you need to be angry. But then, get up. Get up and put one foot in front of the other. Get up and take care of yourself. Get up and protect your peace. Go to therapy. Build your support system. Set your boundaries. Document everything for the lawyers. Fight for what you deserve. Fight for your kids. Fight for your future. And most importantly, don't let him see you broken. I'm not saying pretend. I'm not saying suppress. I'm saying don't give him the satisfaction. Cry at home. Cry with your girls. Cry with your therapist. But when you see him, when you see her, hold your head high. Because you didn't do anything wrong. You were faithful. You were loyal. You were true. They failed. Not you. And one day, maybe not today, maybe not this year, but one day, you're going to wake up. And you're not going to think about him first thing. You're going to wake up. And the pain won't be the first thing you feel. You're going to wake up. And you're going to realize, I'm okay. No, not just okay. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm free. And that man who broke your heart, he's going to realize what he lost. When you're thriving, when you're glowing, when you're living your best life, he's going to realize, she was the best thing I ever had, and I destroyed it. But by then, you won't care, because you'll have moved on to someone better or to yourself. Either way, you'll have moved up. So hold on, sis. I know it's dark right now. I know it hurts, but dawn is coming. And when the sun rises on your new life, you're going to be amazed at who you've become, at what you've overcome, at how strong you really are. Because you're not just a survivor, you're a thriver. And your story, your real story, it's just beginning. My name is Keisha Harrison. I survived my husband's affair with my daughter's teacher. I survived the divorce. I survived being broke and broken and barely holding on. And I came out the other side, stronger, wiser, happier. And if I can do it, so can you. Remember, they didn't break you. They freed you. Now go build the life you deserve. And when that man realizes what he lost, you'll already be so far gone. He won't even recognize the queen you've become. Bless up, sis. You got this.